family. Wagwan, Grand Rising. Peace and love sent out to you all. I hope all is well with my beautiful family, of course. I just woke up not too long ago. I'm about to get started on this rabbit hole message, y'all. Is y'all ready? It's juicy today. At least to me, I love talking about this type of stuff. So you feel me? Anyways, like I was saying, I hope all is well. I send out that positive love and that healing energy to you all. I love y'all so much. Thank you for joining. If you've been watching these rabbit hole messages in my readings and stuff, thank you. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I don't really have a specific channeled message. Like, there's no specific message. This is just like a rabbit hole message. Y'all know when we do the rabbit hole messages, we basically like we're swimming. You feel me? We deep diving. You feel me? So that's basically what we got going on today. So just kind of roll with me. You feel me? But anyways, the topic, since I don't have a like channeled message, the topic is like regarding the unknown, the unseen world, the basically like the shadows, you feel me, the occults. That's what we're going to be talking about today. The hidden society, the Masons, the hierarchy, Freemasons, you feel me, those the whole pyramid of like the hidden society, the hidden civilization. We're just diving into like their whole world, because they live in the unseen, they live in the veil, that veil. So that's what we're tapping into today. But anyways, let's start. So I want to show y'all something. There is something, y'all know how we're always taught that the devil is real. So let's just start there. The greatest lie that was told to mankind was to get everyone to believe that there was a devil, like there was a set deity devil. But the whole joke, the whole hoax was to get everyone basically to believe in that whole analogy, to then create a religion. So if you have a negative God, of course you're going to have to find or have some type of positive source, you feel me? Which is why, like I say, religion was created to basically keep us in that divided energy, in that back and forth within ourselves. So let's just go ahead and tap in. So the planes of hell, I always basically been interested in like different like levels of reality, the different dimensions basically. So it's like, how we have the 1, 2, and 3 dimension, the 4th, 5th, and 6th, the 9th dimension. Like there's so many levels of like existence basically. There's so many planes of existence. There's so many life forms and on other realms as well. We've always kind of been told that like hell was like beneath us, but in reality there is multiple planes of hell. There's multiple planes of existence, where negative forces, negative beings, they operate. So I basically just went ahead and I just want to have proof behind everything that I say. But like I said, I do like my research on this stuff. So like, the 9 planes of hell, basically, if you guys have ever looked into like the 7 deadly sins, it's kind of like that, but it's not necessarily like that. So it's like each plane, and I can show you a visual, but each plane has like its own ruler, its own God. And I quote God because that's what they're like, the masters of that plane. So it's like each plane has its own like ruler. So for example, like I said, the 7 deadly sins. So we have the people who died in a more greed state, the people who died in a lustful state, the people who transcended with a lot of anger, depression, fear. Let me just show y'all. I always say this, please forgive the the distractions, y'all. But I screenshotted it so I can show you guys exactly what I meant here. These are the planes of hell. These are the levels of the lower dimensions underneath us. And as you guys can see, there is there's 9 here. There's the limbo, which is like it's basically where people died and they haven't like they have it on here where it's like more religious, like if you haven't asked for forgiveness for your sins. But it's basically like the moral of it. If you're living in sin, you're living in a chaotic space, you're causing destruction to the world. You know what I mean? You're not uplifting it. You're basically contributing to like death. You know what I mean? That's a plane of existence. Then you have the plane of lust. Like I say, like where the people, they're really lustful. You see a lot of lustful people nowadays. You know what I mean? Men and women, they just lust for sex, lust for money, lust for materialistic gain and materialistic profit. Those people are now trapped on that plane of existence because they haven't detached from that attachment. They haven't detached from it. So it's like once you transcend over and you still have attachments, those attachments kind of keep you trapped. So then you have the plane of gluttony, and gluttony is that greed as well. That's that even when people eat, some people overeat and they die, you know, they have a heart attack. You know, it's not necessarily all about food, but that's just an example. It's like when people kind of grow so attached to a certain what is it called, when people kind of have what is it called when you're like attached to certain things, like your desires, or kind of like addictions. There we go. So when people kind of have addictions, that's when they're basically, if you don't detach from that, you'll never, like some of our ancestors, they're learning from us. Like when we begin to walk in our purpose and live in truth, we kind of help surrender those spirits that are trapped. Some of our ancestors were like addicted to tobacco or addicted to certain liquors, you know, like just certain addictions. You're not supposed to have any addictions, and that's part of the underworld. That's part of the materialistic realm as well. The physicality of life. You're supposed to be a spirit of growth, you know, and expansion. You don't really have anything holding you back or holding you down, which hinders you ultimately. There's also a level of greed, like I said, a level of anger, and it goes all the way down. I'm reading from top to bottom, so these are like the very low dimensions. The level of heresy, and that basically is souls are entrapped in a flaming pit guarded by demons for those who attempt to escape. And then they have the plane of violence. So the violent people, you see a lot of violence nowadays. A lot of these people won't be able to make it into the gates of heaven because they contribute. These people contribute to the suffrage of poverty. Fraud is bad as well. Like a lot of women like to praise fraud, and a lot of men like to do fraud, you feel me, because they feel like they're gaining, but you're stealing. You know what I mean? You're actually kind of you're basically wearing like a mask. You're not being yourself. That's a fraud. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be your ultimate true self. You're supposed to walk in your true purpose. And when you're lying and you're theft, you know, that's all tied into fraud. You're not necessarily being genuine with others as well. That's gonna keep you trapped. You feel me? And then you have the very last one, which is trickery. And the trickery spirits, Satan is imprisoned in ice. So we're going to talk about that. It says Satan is imprisoned in ice from the waist down in the very center of the circle, displayed as a trophy of trickery. So you see how that last one is ice? You know how that ties everything in now. So you know how people say you have a cold heart, or you're very cold-hearted, or you give people the cold shoulder. You know, you basically aren't very warm-hearted. You don't have a warm spirit. You know what I mean? That's how you can see the difference. Basically, there's a difference between having like a good spirit, because you know how they say the higher up you go, the hotter you are. This is why we are heat babies. You know, this is why we are fire gods. We come from the cosmos. The ether is a very hot, heated place. We vibrate in heat. We never operated in cold. You know, this is why they create winter. So the people, they can't exist. They can't coexist with heat. And it's like the lower you are, the more colder you are. Hell is actually ice. People want to make it seem like it's hot. No, it's not hot. Heaven is hot. Heaven is heat. You know, it's that sunshine, that everlasting glow. You know what I mean? And as opposed to hell, it's like that dimness, that coldness, that isolation. You know what I mean? When people feel cold and isolated, they're feeling some form of loneliness, basically. So you have to see the whole mirroring effect with those type of things. It's kind of always been told to us, you know, like a lot of things, like cold tends to be like, you know, less wanted. And then like the hot, like people like, just for on a minor note, people tend to like summer. People love summer as opposed to the winter, you know what I mean? It's a whole like contradiction within itself. So yeah, that was just something I wanted to point out, the different levels. So if there's different levels, you know how they tell us the term every level is a new devil. So it's like there's always some form of entity or parasite, and I listed all of the different devils. So there's a multitude of parasites that are lurking and roaming in the unseen, in the unknown world here. What the hell? So yeah, there's levels of devils. So we have the entities. The entities are typically like very, very negative parasites, as opposed to the demons. You know, the demons are even higher. It's like levels to the wicked. Then you have the Jezebel spirits, you have the pythons, the evil forces. So those are the forces that are lurking, basically, you know, like the ones that want to attach themselves to certain people when they're really low. It's like the devil wants to kick you when you're down. Those are evil forces lurking, or like negative thoughts, basically, negative emotions. Those are evil forces. The hybrids, those are the shapeshifters. Those are the ones also lurking in the unknown and the unseen world. The Neracross, those are the creatures. Those are the creature spirits. So those are the ones that are like, you know, kind of like the pythons, or the three-headed dog, you know, the dog that's in hell, that's coated in fire, or the fire-breathing dragon. It's like that type of spirit. Or they possess an animal, or that, like the goat, basically, like where they become an animal. That's the demon that has like, it's like levels to it. And there's also a negative spirit, so it's kind of like an evil force, negative spirit. They're kind of like the same thing. Fallen angels, those are the angels that basically went against the Holy Spirit, that went against the goodness of life. They went against the law, basically. Those are the fallen angels. So it's kind of like the whole Lucifer thing, where they say he fell from, or Satan, whatever, he fell from grace. That's the whole thing there. So it's like when people basically kind of fall from trust. Like some of these celebrities, for example, I'm gonna get into all of this goodness, but it's like the celebrities where they want that instant fame, or they want that instant possession, or they want, you know, to be rich and, you know, just powerful. This is where they fall from grace, because a lot of people get that promise. A lot of people are promised, you know, from God, but not every gift is from God, you feel me? So when these people start to sign their souls, or sign and basically bind themselves to these contracts, they're not necessarily realizing what's happening after, you know, nevertheless prior. So it's like before, they might get all these good you know, good instructions, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be able to do this, I'm gonna be able to do that, I'm gonna have this and that. And all the women, they basically ask you, it's like the temptation, like, what do you want, you feel me? And that's that lust, that's that greed, that's that desire, you feel me? And you begin to be bound to that energy. And a lot of these celebrities feel they can't escape now. They feel like for Uzi Vert, he can't drop music when he wants, you feel me? Because if you realize what he says when he's on these when he's on his live, he's like, I want to drop music, but, you know, there's always some catch to it, and he never really goes into detail. Maybe he does, you know, but I never really heard him go into detail as to why. And Cat Williams, for example, when some of these celebrities, they go against the oath, when they break the oath, the society, you know, when a lot of the celebrities put their finger over their mouth, you very much so pay attention to that, because that is an oath, that is a civilization, that is some form of contract that has been signed, that I will never break the oath, I will never speak out against it. But a lot of these celebrities do, or some, not a lot, some. And this is where they begin to kind of like blackmail them, you feel me, or boycott them, you know, and make them seem as if they are crazy, or they're losing their mind, you know, or they're like on drugs, sprung out. You see how they did Martin Lawrence, like he's in the middle of the street, he's on drugs, he's saying they're chasing me. It's like, it's real, the unknown, the unseen is actually there, and they want to make it seem as if, you feel me, it's not. Who else they got? You know, CeeLo Green, you know the song, They Say I'm Crazy. I don't know what it's called, but it just type in CeeLo Green crazy. and listen to those lyrics, he basically was saying like they start to deem you as psychotic, or like you're crazy, you're losing your mind because you speak out against this oath. So that is something very, very important that you should pay attention to. A lot of these celebrities want to speak out but can't. And also they have ghosts. This is back to the levels of deities. You have ghosts, ghosts that basically attach themselves to certain locations or certain people. You feel me? They haunt certain buildings. Those are ghosts. Negative parasites. Those are also entities or deities or entities that want to attach themselves to like people. They want to attach themselves, like you might see, like some people have the eye to see like certain spirits attached to people's shoulders, or like on the side of them, behind them, kind of like always leech. It's a leeching spirit. They want to basically become that person. Spirits, demons, parasites, they usually roam in the unknown world, and that unseen world, that very thin layer that's walking right with you, your shadow. Basically, for example, how you have your shadow. When you look down, you see that black being walking in the shadows. That is your shadow. That is your shadow side. Everyone has a shadow. This is why sometimes people say on your journey, do your shadow work, because that is your debt. You know what I mean? That's what you need to resolve within yourself. That's that other side, that ego. So when people say the parasites, these parasites, they basically want to attach themselves. This is where you get possession, and body snatching. Basically, when these spirits, these negative spirits, they're necessarily, I wrote boring spirits. So these are the boring spirits that basically roam around this world. They walk this plane. And like I said, the devil, or the people who basically created the name, the face of a devil, the greatest lie was to say that there was one. There's no one God. Just like they want to deem it as one God. There's no one God. There's many gods. You know what I mean? We are gods. There's so many gods. You know what I mean? And this is why they wanted to keep us separate from that truth. So like I was saying, these parasites, they basically roam this earth they crave life. They crave power. They crave money, sex. Like they have desires, and these desires are the very same thing that has them stuck where they are now, which is why they lurk on the weak. They tamper with the mind. They want to possess you. They want to get in your head. It's very important to stay highly vibrational, because that's where the mental war, I hear cycle war. So it's like some form of like mind game. It's the wars in the mind. Basically, that's where they lurk. Because they want to keep people. This is why in some of the movies, like the haunting movies, The Haunting in Connecticut, or like the My Haunted House, they typically go for the children that are weaker, like the ones with cancer, or the ones who are like sickly, or the ones who are like very like low or insecure. They go for the people who are already operating on their level, so it's easier for them to attack. They never really go for the higher ones. They never really go for the powerful ones. You feel me? Because it's harder for them to mess with them. They usually try to scare them. They usually bother them in other ways, but they attach themselves that parasitic energy, the leech, they attach themselves to the ones who, like I said, the ones who are usually in a weaker, who's vibrating, a little bit lower in the spiritual realm. So yeah, what I wrote here is the shadow beings living in the unseen world. They like to cause pain. They like to cause anger, destruction, fear, temptation, confusion, hate, trickery, lust, thief, greed. These are all things that these people want to portray. They want to put out. They want to keep going. They are power hungry. They basically thrive off of that type of energy. So when you see certain people who are always upset, or they're always in like a low vibration, they're continuously complaining about something, they're never necessarily in a higher vibration, those people are actually body snatched. It may be at a lesser degree, it may be at a lesser form, or when people energy just shifts like that and they get very upset, or they get like mad over anything, you know what I mean? Those are those demons jumping out, you know what I mean? A lot of people walk around with these same very energies, and they hide them, and they you can see it in the eyes. You can watch people's eyes. when they have like this very sunken, like right here, you may see it right here, they have like this a sunken look within their eyes. It's like hollow. These people are being tampered with. They're shifting, you know, within their whole self. Like sometimes it starts from a minor level where they begin to detach from people, they begin to hate people. This is why people, they're haters, you know what I mean? They're always envious towards someone. These are all of these spirits. Some people can be attacked by multiple spirits, which is where they then become really possessed, you know. And the exorcist has to come into play, and you know, like all of these different rituals have to be done over these people to get those spirits to leave. They have embodied a demon, you know what I mean? So that's real. A lot of people, like I was saying, when you realize some people who are, they're always in like a low vibration, or your energy picks up on their frequency, you may start to feel anxious around them, or you feel uncomfortable around these spirits, because these people, they basically possess a negative. They have some form of monkey on their back. You know, when they used to say you have a chip on your shoulder, that is real. That is actually real. That's that unseen plane basically attached to that person, because they feel they can dwell in that world. They can dwell in that realm of reality because they're right where they are. You know what I mean? So, yeah, basically we live in that parallel universe. Like, it's like literally as thin as could be. I wrote here, we basically walk amongst the shadows. This is why you can see shadows. Yeah, I already talked about that. The alter ego. So a lot of these, to backtrack just a little bit, you notice how some of the celebrities, they have like an alter ego. Like, for example, Beyonce, she has what's her name, Sasha Fierce, or Nicki Minaj, she has Roman. Eminem, he has like, they have like this alter, Slim Shady, I think it is, don't quote me, or Shaggy or some shit, I don't know. But these celebrities, they have like they have like their name, and then they have like another like shadow energy, like when they begin to perform, when they begin to rap, dance, sing. Even actresses, they begin to like embody, they're like becoming possessed. If you go watch some of the videos, like Coi Leray, for example, she had it in her video how the spirit takes them over. Doja Cat, she even said how she signed now. She lost, you see how much weight she lost? It's because she's now no longer in control of her vessel. She is now a puppet. This is what those contracts are for. Hey, do you want to be at the top of the billboards? Hey, do you want to be on all these different, you want to get interviews, you want money, you want fame, you want power? Okay, and then the devil always comes back to collect. That's the catch, and they never realize it until it's too late. So that's where that whole thing ties in, the alter ego. They're basically possessing those energies that they work with, those gods that they work with. Beyonce, she basically, if you look at Chloe, you know, Chloe Bailey, the girl with the locks, you see how Beyonce is basically coming through her. She's working with those spirits that Beyonce is working with. Beyonce signed her, so of course she's working with those same spirits. When they do this over their mouth, or when they do the whole pyramid, you know, the whole triangle on their hands, or they do like, they cover their eye, you know, like certain things, certain symbolisms, basically like it's symbolic to their occult, their civilization, what they're tied to, and they always have to keep that oath. They can't break that oath. This is why you see how Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're always kind of like going through something, or Will and Jada, you see how they always have to spiral something up to get the eyes back on them? That's a part of the oath. When they begin to die down, they have to do something embarrassment. That's a part of a ritual. It's like the embarrassing, or the humiliation ritual. So sometimes you see men, they want to wear dresses. They have to wear dresses out in public, or in movies, like Martin Lawrence, how he had to always play Big Mama, or Tyler Perry. Like, these are people who are in very hierarchy occults. This is why everyone likes Medea. This is why everyone likes Big Mama, you know. Joanna Man, you see how he was in a dress? That was a spell, that was a ritual, and they actually had a scene within that movie where he was getting raped, but they kind of blurred it out. And like when he was getting that massage with the woman, I forget her name, but Vivica Fox, they were getting massages. Go look it up. They actually gave him a man, a big white man, and the big white man, I'm gonna fucking talk about it. The white men, they gave it to him to, or they gave him, the big white man, to massage him. And there was a scene right before they cut it, they showed where like he was like humping him. It was so weird, but I caught it because I'm like, okay, yeah, this shit is real. And they actually gave him like this shirt. And Juwanna Mann, when he first lost his contract, where he wore a really tight girly shirt. Like, this shit is real, and it's like you have to do something out of your moral. You have to get out of character. You have to basically embarrass yourself or do something very tremendous or very like disgusting, whether that's raping a child, sleeping with a man, sleeping with multiple men, sleeping with multiple women. You know what I mean? It's like you have to do some type of ritual that goes against your will, that goes against your moral, you know, basically to get you back in the occult. So it's like, in order to sit with the prime, you have to do the crime. You have to commit some form of crime or criminal act that, you know, won't be spoken about, of fucking course, but keep it between us. What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. This is just, that's that. Okay. Okay, so this is where I begin to talk about the power of the lower energies. So basically, these demons, these deities, these lurking shadows, they really have no power. They truly have no power. They really have no like, this is why I say they created a devil to give him power. He doesn't have power. You know, there's no true God or negative God. You know what I mean? There's no true devil, there's no true Satan. Like, these spirits are lurking, but there's no one. And that's what empowers him to give him that whole recognition. You know what I mean? So that's false, basically. So transmutation exam, when something bad happens, something good happens right behind it. Okay, so we're gonna come back to that. I even go into the fucking Playboy Mansion. You know, the Playboy Mansion, the whole sex mansion where they have the bunnies and the rabbits, basically, where they're like the sex dolls, basically. I'm gonna go into that, but for now I'm gonna go into the hidden society, the hidden occult. These are basically parties, you know, the mansion parties. This is where everything goes down. They're having these meetings, and throughout these mansion parties, they're doing deals, they're taking deals with the devil, you feel me? They're shaking hands with the devil throughout these parties. I wrote here, forbidden signed contract, vowing to never tell anybody about what happens after tonight. So basically, once these people, like I said, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. These parties, I have to point something out before I actually go into this. Okay, so I broke down the word Mason. So you know how a Freemason is basically someone who's like free from the source, the almighty power. They went against the will. They fell from grace, basically. So I broke down the word Mason, and I got mask on, like a mask on. So you know how when these people enter these parties, if you go watch certain movies, go look at the movie Eyes Wide Shut. For example, there's a scene within that. There's also a purge. I was watching it, but I couldn't watch it, and I knew some shit was happening. I knew something, like I felt so uncomfortable watching it, and it told me now. I finally got that confirmation why I couldn't watch it. These parties, throughout these parties, these are very like Masonic or blasphemic. Like, they do a lot of blasphemy in these parties, so they have to cover up, they have to like pretend they become something else. That's that possession. So this is where I got mace on, or mask on. They put on these masks to basically hide their identity. You notice when people have two separate identities, they're two-faced. You know how people say you're two-faced? So it's like that whole contradiction as well, that whole mirroring effect as well. So I noticed in these parties, they always have to wear like some form of animal mask, or they have to wear like some form of mask to hide their eyes, you know, so they can't really see who they're dealing with. They can't really see who they're intertwining energies with. this is where things start to get chaotic. So once you enter the party, they instantly make you sign a contract. You can't even bring your phones inside the party. That's how confidential it is, you know. It's like you cannot speak about it even after tonight, you feel me? Don't tell anybody, don't post, or you're going against the oath. And we have everything on video of what you did that night, even if you don't remember, you feel me? So this is how deep it gets. So they give them a mask, and I basically was reading it. They give them this animal mask, or a mask to protect their face so no one can see. They wear like hoodies, you feel me? And they're all dressed in like the women there wear like very fancy dresses. The men wear like very fancy clothes, but they have like a dead animal on their face, you feel me? And this is where they begin to they sign that contract stating, I won't break the oath, I won't go against anything. I wrote a group down. This is one of the civilizations, and it's called Kappa Beta Phi, and it's basically like a hidden occult. It's a Masonic agenda, basically, of what they have, like the you know how they have what is it called? I don't know, but this is one of the many hidden societies. So basically what they do, I was reading about it, and basically what they do is they first begin to they start their dinner. They always start off with a dinner, and the dinner basically welcomes their guests. You know, when you're invited over to someone's house, you eat, you feel me? After you basically meet and greet someone, or you meet and greet everyone. So it's like once you sign that contract, once you speak to everyone, then it's time to sit down and have dinner. So at these dinners, this is where it's kind of like I wrote something down, and it's called I believe it's called like pig night or something. This is where it gets like very beastie, you feel me? So basically what they do is throughout the food, the dinner, this is basically like a sacrificial dinner, and what they have here is they have children, they have body parts, cut up body parts, they have blood, they have a lot of shit and like piss and like just nasty raw flesh of animals. They basically they have to set this scenery of filth. They have to set this whole they have to set up like a atmosphere of death, you know what I mean? Because if they create all this pit and all this filth and nastiness and like funk, you know what I mean? Because it smells so bad in there, because there's dead animal, there's dead children, the energy is so low, and like there's a blood in there, blood stinks, you know what I mean? So it's like if they can create this very, very low, disgusting atmosphere, they are now in the hell realm. They're in the realm of hell. They're in their territory, you know. They're in this satanic like prism, basically. So this is when they now after they basically all gather for their dinner, they are now able to hold on, y'all. Sorry. Okay. So this is where they are now contributing into like the bestiality, and you know they eat animals. People even are having sex with animals like at these ceremonies, you know what I mean? Throughout this dinner, like people are like, everything is disgusting. You have men being like gay, you know what I mean? You have women being like gay or like super seductive, or basically, what's the word I have here? Basically very exploited, you know what I mean, with their body. So this is how they want the women to be more so objects than possession, than like a prize, you know what I mean? So it's like they're used as like sex demons, you know what I mean? And the men are on men. So that's basically, it brings me back to what I was saying. A lot of these demons, they crave lust, they crave sex, they crave like power. And I'm kind of gonna like jump back and forth, so I'll be back to the dinner. But this is where, if you ever heard about the Playboy Mansion, this is where the man, his name is Nuff Hughes, and he basically he was like tied into that spirit. He was addicted to that lifestyle, to that power up. He was basically, he created everything to be beautiful, just kind of like the contract. So see the resemblance and the similarities between the two. There's no difference, but just hear me out. So he basically he made the whole mansion beautiful and just so alluring. He basically made the whole scenery beautiful and, you know, like just very attractive, you know, like the scenery to be like very like alluring to the women, you know, to get them coming in, to get them, you know, to stay there and be there. But the women, they went to say how everything was, it was the complete opposite. It was nothing as how it seems. You know how they say nothing is truly how it seems? So that's what it was. It was like a beautiful scenery, beautiful house, beautiful big parties, beautiful balloons, you know, beautiful food everywhere. But it's like once you submitted yourself, once you signed those contracts, there was no way out. So these women, they went to say how they basically had a curfew, a 9 p.m. curfew. They couldn't leave. They couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't have friends. They couldn't like invite friends into the house. This house obtained 72 rooms. They couldn't invite anybody over there. A big ass pool, underground pool. Like they had a whole underground house, you feel me, where they did the partying, where they did all the pedophilia and the bestiality, where they fucked animals, you feel me, and they had sex with men on men, or organs or orgies, however the fuck you say it, women and women and shit. So it's like they had like a lot of psychotic energy. Damn, I don't know why the freaking thing just did that, but I'm just keep going. So yeah, they couldn't have friends. They weren't allowed to really do anything. They were basically under constant surveillance. So you see how that ties into the celebrities. They're not allowed to leave the premises. So it's like celebrities, let's go back to the celebrities. They can't have a lot of friends. They have curfews. Like Lil Uzi Vert, he can't drop music whenever he wants. They have like limitations. They're always under some form of control, or they're under some form of contract, you feel me? They can't, you know, a lot of things they can't do. They have no more freedom, and that's what those contracts are targeting: your freedom, your will, your power, your ability. And a lot of people think they gain, but they actually lose, you feel me? So they're under constant surveillance. A lot of these celebrities are constantly being watched, are constantly being like stalked by the mobs, you know, these hidden occults, these hidden societies, by these elites, you feel me? If you say anything, if you break this oath, we got footage on you. We have, you know, we have dirt on your name, you feel me, which will end your career ultimately. You will be done. And this is the whole thing with the Playboy Mansion, the White Rabbit. You see how they had to take that contract, they stole it and flipped it, you feel me? The White Rabbit was basically like the indication of knowledge, you know, the unknown, tapping into that hidden awareness, you feel me? And the Playboy Mansion was dealing with sex. He said Huff Heffer, that was the basically CEO of the whole fucking mansion. He basically said he started this at 27, the age of 27. In 1971 is when he moved into the mansion, and in 75 is where he basically started his first everything, that the magazine. But he changed he said he wanted to change the social status view over women. So from exploiting them versus freedom, he mimicked exploitation, like basically saying how, or using the excuse of showing yourself, showing your cleavage, basically exposing yourself, you know, for in the same line of saying that is freedom. Women should be able to, but he used them, he abused them, and he manipulated them. He always was power hungry. This is coming from the women who are actually the bunnies, you know. They were actually the women who worked for him, his girlfriends, you feel me? Let me just remember. Okay, so she said the whole thing was a scam. The whole narrative of Nuff, it was a scam. His whole scheme, he was basically just power hungry. And these are what these elites are. They're power hungry. They're always going for the next, they're always trying to catch the next youngest face, the next youngest thing. Kind of like the Lil Nas scenario. You see how he was only like 19 when he signed away, and you see how he changed, like everything shifted. That's how they try to get him as young as they can. Kind of like what's his name, Tekashi 6ix9ine, I think that's his name. You see how you don't hear from him no more because he started breaking the oath. But when he went and said in an interview, he literally was working at like a pizza shop or something. He was working somewhere at like a convenience store or something, and one of the occults, one of the like producers, the part of that agenda, part of that society, they approached him and they said, hey, you look like you can be a rapper, you can rap. He said he never even knew how to rap. He never even knew how to, you feel me? He don't even write his music, basically. They just needed his youngness, his youth. You feel me? They wanted to usurp that from him. They basically shifted him, and once he began to see how everything was against him, how they used him against him, so they began to put him in all of these different like drama, basically. Like they basically put you in all of these different things, kind of like Chloe. She said like she's like used as a sex demon. She's always half naked, dressed like Beyonce, and she said she doesn't view herself like that, but people view her like that. It's kind of like they trapped her. She's in a trap now. She's being used as a pawn, as a puppet, you know what I mean, to basically lead and guide the younger women. So a lot of these women are following her, you know, the younger women. See how they always want to target the youth. So there's always some form of trick up their sleeve. These are trickery spirits lurking, you feel me, seeking for their next prey, always preying on the weak, always preying on the young, you feel me, to basically possess them and take over. So everything is about carnal sex, you know, like lust, you feel me? It's all regarding power, greed, you feel me? So guess who was also in those parties? Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was in those mansion parties, and now you see how everything is now being exposed. This guy Huff, he never really got exposed, or the truth never could make it out because he was a billionaire. These billionaires always keep things quiet. Like R. Kelly, he paid their mothers to keep quiet to allow this. Aaliyah was literally only like 16 when she started to deal with him, and you know, when she made that thing, age ain't nothing but a number, that was that whole R. Kelly contradiction as well, that whole scheme and plot. Basically their whole goal was to, like, they loved the young hot women, as this guy would say. Like he always had a blonde Barbie doll looking girl on his shoulder, or multiple for this matter. He was always seeking or eager or just so hungry for more and more and more. And one of the women, she said he used to always, like, his main girlfriend, he used to always, like, you know, kind of like, I hope this is okay. Oh, sorry. Is that okay? Really could have left it, but shit. Okay. I hope that's okay. Okay. So it's the lighting for me. Okay. Let's not end the video. Okay. Fine. Whatever. But anyways, one of his main girlfriends, I'm just playing with my amethyst. One of his main girlfriends was like, he used to always, like, want more out of me. Like, every time, like, she would strike, he would, like, want something else. So for example, she used to always get, like, forced. She said he would continuously ask, hey, go, like, see if that girl over there wants to party, you know, go see if she wants to, you know, dance, or, like, you know, just, he always wanted to, like, put her with another girl. You feel me? You see how if that was a real man, if that was really for her, he wouldn't have tried to, like, put her on something else. He would have wanted her all to, you know, himself. But for this matter, it's like these people, they want that whole fucked up, they like that illusion, you know, they like that men on men, they like fucking men, they like having, they like to see they like to see women on women, multiple men with one girl, or if even now to the point where they do the bestiality, where they start having sex with like goats and like cows and horses and shit. Like, they take it to that level because they're so hungry. These are the minds of these spirits, y'all. It's so disgusting. So it's like cleanliness is literally the closest to God. Like 4444, literally go look those numbers up. That is literally that's like the closest to God for a reason. And it's like, we don't do that disturbing shit, and that's what they thrive. They're power hungry. They want to see the men's in dresses. They want to watch our men embarrass themselves, you feel me? They want to see that divided household, you feel me, to keep everything just chaotic, you feel me? But the Freemasons, that you see how they basically deal with like the Catholics. So it's like that whole thing. I actually seen a picture the other day. It was the KKK. Everyone had on that little thing, but it said Jesus saves at the top. And it's like, everything is so weird. It's like a one world government type of energy, one satanic occult type of thing here. It's like a hidden alley, you know, a hidden agenda, some form of hidden like void. Like it's kind of like the rabbit hole like I was using, for example. They wanted to use that rabbit hole, but it's like, you think you're like going somewhere. These women said they thought that they were always told that they were going to be like very beautiful models, or they were going to get all these gigs, you know, for modeling or acting, but they always were like trapped. They couldn't damn near leave the house, you feel me? So they couldn't leave the house. So it's like, there's always, they signed contracts, but there was no more after that. It's like, once you get in, you can't get out. Imagine that, you know what I mean? Spirits wander in the fourth dimension. Yeah, not only just the fourth dimension. We basically went over the other levels of hell. We talked about the levels, the different dimensions of hell. But yeah, I said I would get back to the dinner. So after they eat their dinner, they basically then take a shot, a blood shot, even if it's not a blood shot, a shot of blood. Because when people take blood, they inhabit, or they basically begin to like transmute or like shapeshift into like another creature or another deity. So it's like, even if they're not taking a blood shot, they're taking different narcotics. They're taking different like date rapes to basically get out of their moral like get ready to get out of your character, get ready to get fucked up. You know, this is why white people always want to get fucked up. Let's get fucked up, you know, because it's like they completely shift, they completely change, you know what I mean? These billionaires, they have a lot, these A-list and C-list millionaires, trillionaires, they have a lot of power and control over the young minds, because they understand how everyone wants to sit with them. They know everyone wants to be with them. So this then brings us to like the neophytes. The neophytes, which I have on this side, but the neophytes, this is that whole occult, the Phi Beta Kappa. It basically means love of wisdom, the guide of life. You see how they basically want to always shift our fucking energy, the rabbit hole. They want to like take it and like screw it up, or like just kind of like the Baphomet. You know how he has boobs? That's a whole man. It's like that type of energy. So they want like men more feminine, and they want the women more masculine. This is why you have a lot of women today. Let's just look at the facts. Women are like, I'm the head of the household, or I can do it all by myself. I don't need a man, or, you feel me? That's not how we were. If you want to look at some of the real shit, go look at the Zinga tribes and the Homie tribes. These women were assassins. These women, or not even black women, golden women, like myself, these are like tribes of like force, of power, and these women, they were like dominant, not like no dyke or no fucking lesbian, but they were like literally warrior gods and goddesses. Like the movie Black Panther, for example, those women were bald. You know, these women would fight with their body parts. I was hearing something about how they would cut off their breasts. You know, these women were very, very powerful and very dominant. We respected our men. We knew the importance of our men, just like the men knew the importance of us. This is why today, if you go look at our monuments over in Africa, Egypt, you can see how the women had their arms around the men, because that was the power of the woman. Every 40 women, there's one man. So it's like, this is also why we participated in polygamy. We understood the power of the woman, the creator, you know, the almighty, the omega, you feel me, the beginning and the end. Everything is woman. This is why everything is feminine. Like Mary Jane, she's feminine. Mother Earth, she's feminine. What else we have? Mother Universe, for example, like everything is feminine. There's always a feminine aspect behind source, behind the creator. It's getting so fucking dark. I don't like it. Sorry. Shit. I really don't like that. I think my phone is overheating. Okay. So anyways, yeah, so this is where they basically, you know, they like take everything from us. I haven't watched the movie Wolverine, but you know how his name was actually Logan? So that's actually depiction of the Orishan god Ogun. You know, the Ogun, the alpha male. They always try to flip the narrative around us. And yeah, like I said, go watch Black Panther, which relates to the tribes of the women, how we actually operated. We were very powerful. We still are, but it's like we have to remember, you know, because everything was stripped away from us. Like I said, the neophytes. So I'm going to basically give you guys the example or the definition of what a neophyte really is. It's basically a person who is new to subject, skill, or belief. So find that. A person who is new to subject, skill, or belief. So it's like the D-list celebrities who wants to sit with the A-list. You know, they want to fit in. They want to get in where they fit in. But in order to sit with the prime, you got to do the crime. Like, those billionaires didn't just make it to the top. They're not just thriving for no reason, you know, in their world, for that matter. That you have to do something to get somewhere. So it's like So I looked up interloper, and that's a person who becomes involved in a place or situation where they are not wanted. So like I said, in order to, like, you have to prove yourself to these people, like do something very bad. So this is now where you do the rituals and the mansion party. So after they take their toast. So it's like, let's take a toast to the good life. You know what I mean? We're the billionaires, we're the trillionaires, we're the one with all the money and power. Let's have a toast to the good life. Everybody gets fucked up now. Everybody is now taking these pills. It's called MDMA. Those are one of the narcotics, and there's something called the Quaalude or Quaalude. You can look it up. It's Qualue, and basically they use that in the Playboy Mansion as well. They said he said that's like the leg opener. So it's like they get ready to fucking shift. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. It's like once they take that narcotic, the woman said, one of the bunnies, she said, you would only take half a pill. You would already be, you know, like, out of it. If you take two, people take two, you're knocked out, and that's where you don't remember anything. And this is where a lot of the celebrities, the adultery begins to take place. A lot of the pedophilia and bestiality comes into play, and you know, all of these acts of like these gay acts, you know what I mean? I don't really know how to name that, but it's like when they start to get gay, you know, they start to record each other doing really disgusting things, and that's the footage. The footage is the contract. That's part of the contract. So if you break your oath, we're gonna expose what you did. That's the blackmail. So this is where I then go into the movie Eyes Wide Shut. So, oh wait, no, before I go into that, you remember how I was mentioning the neophytes? Basically, like someone who's new to belief, or some form, like new to the occult, new, like you're the new guy, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got to do something to get in. We can't just let you in, you feel me? What are you going to do? Who are you? Show us what you got, you feel me? So it's like the men, they have to, or men and women, it's like you have to dress in wigs, makeup, leotards, just really, really tight clothes. Like you have to look like a punk basically, because we want to embarrass you. We want you to completely get out of your character of who you once were, because you are now with us. You feel me? You are now one of us. You are now a part of our agenda. You're a part of our society, and you are now mine. So it's like, do as I say. So I looked, I didn't watch the movie, but it's called Eyes Wide Shut. And with this movie, they did a lot of they was in like that fantasy world with the whole being greedy and, you know, basically doing really nasty things to satisfy their that ego, that alter ego. So there was a scene, and the couple basically, I'm gonna just read it. The act of faithfulness. So that's fidelity, the act of faithfulness. So a lot of this shit is infidelity. Being unfaithful, being like very like just misconstruing every moral within yourself, going against the grain, going against God, you feel me? Falling from grace. That's, it all ties in. So the lady in the movie, she was a regular mom, you know, they were a regular couple, and married couple, but the husband, he was into the occult. He was a part of that occult, a part of that agenda. And they would attend these billionaire, trillionaire parties, these very high class parties, you know, and it's like high class. But throughout the party, she was like kind of bored with her husband, and they both went their separate ways, both the husband and the wife. So mind you, she wore glasses, so, you know, she was herself, she was whatever, you know. So she instantly begins to get drunk, she instantly begins to take shots. If you want to watch the movie, you can. I probably won't watch it, but it's called Eyes Wide Shut. And basically she began to take shots and, you know, like get out of her character. And, you know, basically what they do, they have to take shots and to like basically forget. And that brings me back to the Playboy bunny house, the Playboy mansion. The bunnies, the women, they would always say how, or one of the women, she said, I would always get drunk, I would always take a lot of cocaine, get on this very high, because I didn't want to, I knew it was fucked up, I knew where we were, it was just terrible. He would always have sex after the club with them, you feel me? It would always be like this prostitution, you know, around them, you know what I mean? And she said, in order for her to withstand, in order for her to coexist within that reality, she always had to be out of her mind. So that it ties in, everything ties in. So she basically began to get drunk in the party, and she ends up with this billionaire old man. And she's like teasing him, provoking him, like just being super seductive. And like this is where they're like kind of flirting with each other. And then she's like, you know, this can get like, you know, like this can go further, you feel me? I'm not really sure, I didn't watch the damn movie, I'm just kind of like reciting it as much as I can. But she's flirting with this billionaire. Mind you, the fucking husband, he's flirting with two models. So it's like they're flirting with someone, or he's flirting with someone, she's flirting with someone. So it's like they're not really like crossing that line, but they are kind of like dwindling in other people's energy, you feel me? You know, because basically in this movie they have like a modern family, they have a modern day life, they have like that regular marriage. He works, she takes care of the child, you know. It's kind of like it gets boring for them after a while. Like I said, they always want a power up, they always want to take a next step to some freaky shit. So it's like now it's to the point where they're back home after their dance with the couple or the billionaire, and then after him like flirting with those models, I guess she sees them at the party, and then he's like or she's like, so if the only reason you are not having sex with those models is because you're married for me. So it's like, and he's like, yeah. So it's like she began to say, so like the only reason you're not fucking them is because of me, for my benefit. And it's like, that's kind of fucked up, because it's like, so you're thinking about it, that's infidelity, you're thinking about it, that's that lust, that desire, you're wanting to, but because you're with me or because you're married, you feel me, you won't. So it's like lusting over a woman, but not crossing that line because you're with someone. You know what I mean? That is so betrayal. Like, so then they were naked in the mirror, I guess. Y'all, if y'all watch this movie and I sound like I'm all over the place, forgive me. I'm just reciting it to like my awareness. So yeah, literally they were like in the mirror, he was kissing on her neck and stuff, and he was like, like I said, she was wearing glasses, so he was beginning to kiss on her neck, and she was kind of like looking at him, watching him kiss on her neck, and then she then takes her glasses off to basically like imagine that, like, to not see him anymore, because you know when you take your fucking glasses off you can't see. Yeah, so it's like she took her glasses off, so it's like she began to imagine as if it was that billionaire. So this is infidelity as well. Like, you can't be in that fantasy, but this is where it gets fucked up. This is the twisted. These people are so twisted on such a level, it makes no sense. This all ties in. So basically when he begins to like kiss on her and stuff, they're like, she's like imagining it be like the billionaire. She's like, you know, looking at herself and like, you know, just like fantasizing over this man. So it's like receiving, let's just say receiving head from a girl, men receiving head from a girl, but you're like imagining it to be someone else. Like, that's her. She's in that space of being. And like when she's like having sex with him, this is what I wrote. So it's like imagining your partner to be someone else, that fantasy, it sparks a level of excitement between the two of you, because it makes the person who's in that fantasy, it makes them go harder, or it's like they're more passionate towards that their mate, because it's like now they're like with someone else. Even though it's a fantasy, it's like a psychological type of thing. You're imagining it so deeply. It's like some type of ritual. You're so like tied into it that it becomes like, it begins to feel so good. You feel me? This is why the person goes harder, you know, and it becomes like more of a passionate, more intimate moment, because it's like he's thinking like, damn, she fucking the shit out of me tonight, and he's like, she's thinking about somebody else. So that's the fucked up part. And it's like she's bored. It's like becoming bored within like your marriage. That's fucked up. Like, that is so fucked up to me. I don't know. And it's like, this is why they get bored with each other, and they begin to do like very crazy things, and they begin to take it to like next levels, kind of like the Playboy Mansion. She said after she had sex with that woman one time, or had sex with that woman one time, he would want her to keep doing it. Remember when I said she didn't really want to in the first place, but he kept pushing her to do it, and she finally gave in, and she was like, okay, this is it after that. And he would want her to do more and more and more, power hungry, you know, just eager to get more, to have some more, you know, it's just excitement, you know. It's like an endorphin being released within them. This is why now they get so bored with their wives, you know. They're willing to like have sex with a dog in front of their wife, you know what I mean? One of the playmates, the bunnies in the Playboy Mansion, she said she actually walked in and he was fucking their puppy. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they get so bored within like casuality. They want that extent of like weird. I don't know how would y'all really like define that? It's a spirit. You know what I mean? It's like kind of watching porn. When people are obsessed with watching porn, that is a spirit. That is a Jezebel. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, y'all, these people are weird. But yeah, I'm trying to see what else I have here. Oh yeah, and this is now, like I said, they start fucking animals, then they go to children. Like a lot of pedophiles, they like fantasize over kids. They like all of these women, you can see some of the most handsome men fuck a kid. You know what I mean? Like, you can have, or like an adult who's married and like molesting their daughter. Like, it's a spirit, dude. It's like some form of possession. that they're being taken over by like this unseen, unknown person, you know what I mean, who's craving that very low vibrational act. They're craving that out. They're craving that. It's so weird to me, but I actually I love going into that type of shit, but it's so weird. I think that's all I have. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much what I got. I'm gonna double check though. Yeah. Okay. So it's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I didn't pull any cards because it's more like a, you feel me? It was a different type of reading. I guess I can though. I'm gonna just do one little deck because I don't really care to pull energy on this. But anything we need to know, spirits. This shit is like a psychotic defect or something, like a psychological effect. You know, when they start to crave lust or they crave like, I'm seeing here the Two of Cups. It's like they begin to crave like different levels of disturbance. They're very disturbed. That's what I get. I keep seeing that one. Let me see if it comes out again. If it comes out again, I'm gonna show y'all. What is this, spirit? Let me see. They like crave children and shit. Damn. Spirit say that's the truth. Page of Pentacles. I'm hearing something about moral. Their morals are like screwed up. Like their mind is in the wrong space. Yeah, look, they want to like control a lot of things. Oh, I see a beautiful monarch butterfly. Wow. You see how they want to like control? Wow, it came right to the car again. Wow, that is so beautiful. You see how they want to control though? He's like basically kind of like, that butterfly is like all up here. You might as well just come in the car. Look, control, maze. They want like the possession of the mind. You know what I mean? But the Temperance came out right behind it. You see those pyramids? It's like the resurrection of the like the return of the dead. Like the ancient ones are coming back. We're coming back. Look, because they're controlling. You see how they're like puppeting? See how they're like, she's like puppeting people? Look how this person looks. Stuck, sad, like they have no control, in control of their self. Ten of Cups, yeah, that's like that wish fulfillment. The butterfly. Look, the butterfly again. I'm just pulling what fell out. This just fell out. Yeah, like things are coming out. The transformation, basically. Transition. The spirits. That's the truth. The spirits, look, the rise. You see how they're coming out of the caskets and stuff? Yeah. That's pretty much all I got. So we're returning like the rise. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I just pulled this card. The time, like in due timing, divine timing, the clock. I'm hearing infinite. Like we're infinite, and I just pulled the butterfly again. We are infinite with this shit. Like we're the omni. We're everywhere. We're coming back. We're coming back. Intrusion is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing intrusion. Everything happened for a reason. All right, well, I think that is it, guys. Thank you so much for bowing with me, bearing with me, hanging with me. I love these rabbit hole messages, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The phone is like overheated, but I love y'all so much. There we go. Bye, you guys. Thank you again for joining. Like I said, have a beautiful day. I'm just admiring myself. No, I'm just kidding. Bye.